Hello and welcome back to another episode of Healing Our Community with Dr. Ray and Jean. Hi, I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Jean.
And today on our podcast we are going to be talking about the subject of humor, right? The title is Serious Fun, the link between humor and healing. Before we do that, we have to talk about why we're talking about humor today. Okay. And also before we do that, I want to let you all know that this is live. So please, ask any questions, give any comments. We'll be able to see them hopefully. And we'll be able to comment on them. So this is a live podcast that we do every Wednesday at 12:15 for the Delta County community and the Western Slope. Today we are talking about humor, and we have to talk about the elephant in the room, right? Why do we need humor? Well, it combats anger. It combats seriousness and frustration and depression, and, really heavy emotions. And, there's a lot going on in the world today. Obviously, it's personal for me. I'm an Iranian American. And so I'm getting emotional now.
Yeah, let me talk for a minute while you collect yourself there.
Yeah.
When we get angry, when we get shocked, upset, the energy in our brain goes into our emotional center, our limbic system, and it pulls that energy away from our logical brain, our place where we have rationalization and logic and reason, and it takes us away from that. And it gets us stuck there. So if you've ever been upset by something, your thinking just goes, and, we're designed to live like in a tribe of about 100 people. And if you're with someone else and you feel that way, they're probably going to try to cheer you up. They're probably going to try to distract you in some way or do something different, because what humor does is it calms down that emotional brain and gets you back to a state of balance,
which is absolutely necessary when you are at a heightened emotional state, and especially if you're at a heightened emotional state for a long period of time. What happens is that we go into fight or flight, and then our adrenaline kicks into our body, and it starts affecting our heart and respiration and our blood pressure. And then over a long period of time, the adrenaline, wears off, and then our body starts producing cortisol, because that is the hormone that helps us deal with stress and long-term stress. Cortisol then affects our digestion system, slowing it down. It affects our heart rate, blood pressure, respiration, and it has a long-term impact on our body. And so it is so important to understand this kind of balance in our system that's happening all the time. When we are, why are you smiling like that?
Because you told me I don't smile enough, and you're talking about something serious, and you say I should smile. So actually, just smiling changes your chemistry as well. You should try it. It sounds kind of funny and feels kind of weird, but it actually does something. And before we come on the podcast, we usually grin at each other. So, but I was just doing that because he said I'm too serious, and I have I don't know. You'd rather me smile.
Face. Yes. And today, obviously, we are trying to counterbalance the heavy emotions that are going on by humor, and helping people see how that is really important for us to balance those things that are going on. I had mentioned that I'm Iranian American, so I am full of a lot of emotions, this past week here. And, emotions, that happiness for the Iranian people. And hopefully this is the start of a free Iran, and happy that, that someone has actually heard the plea of the Iranian people and is doing something about it. So a lot of emotions, and people have emotions all across the board. It doesn't really matter, but it is evoking things in people right now for a lot of different reasons. And that is why humor is so important for us to help balance it. Otherwise we can get consumed, by these really heavy emotions.
I don't know if you are aware of this, but I did serve in the United States Army Reserves for 13 years. And One of the things that happens when you go through basic training or when you are all the things that you do when you're in the military is there's a lot of boring time. And boring time ends up being the best time because you end up joking around, you end up laughing, you end up, just making fun of the ridiculousness that you're in because you don't know what they're going to ask you to do, but whatever it is, it's not logical ever. And so, this is one thing that our technology has stolen from us is our boredom. So as soon as we feel like we got nothing to do, we grab our phones. And if you think about what is your phone doing? Is it making you happy? Is it humorous?
No,
and
it's bombarding you. Boom, boom, boom with everything.
And even if there's funny reels, they go right to the next thing, until they ultimately wind up in something that doesn't feel so nice. And so that boredom is a really important thing. It is where our creativity becomes the most alive. And it usually ends in hilarious times. You probably remember times as a kid where you were bored and you said to your mom you're bored, and your mom probably said something like, I'll give you something to do, like dishes or vacuuming. And you said, never mind, I'll figure it out. And you went outside and you created something really fun.
I don't know about younger generations these days, but yes, I remember that, right?
Yeah,
Go outside and get yourself outside of the house. Otherwise, your parents will find something for you to do, right? But humor, laughter is something that we try to practice, within our relationship, especially when things get really heavy. Obviously what we do is pretty heavy, is pretty serious. We deal with people's pain on a daily basis. I don't know why you're smiling.
You tell me to smile.
We deal with people's pain on a daily basis and have done that for 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of people ask us, how do you deal with that? How do you handle this heaviness that people give to you, hand to you on a daily basis? And, it has been something that we've had to learn how to do over a long period of time. In the beginning, it affected me, affected you personally, and it was really hard.
And you don't want to have more serious conversations about serious conversations.
No, having serious conversations outside of what we do, that's just too much. That is really too much.
And probably our daughter-in-law, Angela, and our granddaughter, Ainsley, are watching us right now. And there's some things we do in our family. And one of the things that when you're talking about humor that really combats all those other heavy emotions is something that is surprising and shocking. And Ray, you used to.
Well, I need to explain why, right? So if you're in a really heavy emotion, you're kind of stuck in that.
Yeah.
And you need an equally powerful emotion to jar you out of it, to shift you out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what you're talking about is it has to be surprising. It has to be sudden. And that's what's going to get you out of it. Right.
And not mean.
Oh, question here. What are your tips for finding humor during the everyday routine? I think that's exactly what we are going into here, to talk about. Thank you for that question.
So you like to jump out and surprise Angie.
Oh, my daughter-in-law. I used to do that a lot. I would jump out of the corner and she would freak out. She had the best reaction, to get scared, but I don't do it anymore. Yeah.
So here's an example. Let's do this, Ray. Can you close your eyes?
Yeah.
And can you open your mouth? Open your mouth. So I put some ingredients on a spoon.
Oh.
And this is one of the things
that
we. Oh, is it bad?
What is? Oh, yeah. What?
Ketchup, ranch, yogurt, raspberry, and a cookie.
Oh, I'm glad you gave me some water.
So that's one of the. So you can be very nice and you can put ingredients that are lovely and go together, or something a little bit more shocking. But that's a.
This is a spoon game.
The spoon game.
Yeah. Well, what's good for the goose?
Uh-oh. Were you nice?
Close your eyes. Open your mouth. Let's see.
Yikes.
Open.
Will you put pickle on there?
No.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Ray.
Woo, my endorphins, this is crazy.
This is funny for
It's
you.
Funny.
Oh, what is that?
Let's see.
Mm.
Blueberry, blackberry, ranch, and mozzarella cheese.
Huh. What was the thing that felt like a pickle? Must be the mozzarella.
Or I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah. So a little palate cleanser here.
So another thing you might have noticed is that emotions are contagious. And, and so when you're watching something like this, that's funny, you feel better too. And when you're watching all the news and all the angry people out there, you're going to feel that anger as well.
For sure.
And that contagion, it's in some way a bonding experience, which makes us feel not so alone in the world, but it's not healthy. It's not a good way of connecting and bonding. And unfortunately, there are powers that be that would like to divide us rather than unite us. And it's that uniting that really happens. And, Ray, you've been talking a lot more to your cousins during this time.
Yep. Yeah.
You guys.
And we're all sharing in the same feelings, that we're happy that hopefully the Iranian people are going to be free for the first time in 47 years. And a lot of Iranian Americans are here in the United States and have had to flee the country because of fear of persecution and fear of death. And your smiling is really distracting.
See, I got in trouble for not smiling.
But it is absolutely, it's very serious, right? Mm-hmm. And we're all kind of sharing in a lot of the same sentiments and the same feelings, that we're going through.
And you'll notice if you do have a deep, heartfelt conversation with someone about something that is serious and potentially painful, you will add humor. If you've ever gone to a funeral or something.
I was going to say that is that even in the seriousness of it, we are communicating, some humor, some memes, some jokes, things like that. And it just kind of takes that edge off of it. Mm-hmm. So that, and it helps you kind of process heavy things.
Yeah. Because it balances out your brain chemistry.
It balances out. You're able to not get sucked in deeper. And all of you have experienced that at one time or another, where you're just being faced with a lot of seriousness in your life, anger, frustration, anxiety, whatever it is. And there are definitely things in the world that you could look around that's going to enforce that, reinforce it and make you feel even worse. Right.
Yep. And, if you've ever come in and done an individual session, at least with me, probably with you as well, I'm probably going to say something that will make you laugh in the middle of something pretty uncomfortable and intentionally, because I want to kind of disrupt that thing. I don't want to dive in there in those heavier emotions because I know your brain's not functioning properly. So when someone's just lamenting, is that the right word? Talking a lot?
Well, yeah.
About something and they're just over and over and they're very cyclical. Humor can really help, pop you out of that cycle. And it's a really good tool to use when you are doing some therapy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Humor. I'm trying to think. I mean, there have been times that I'll joke around, with a client and it does kind of help them put a smile on their face, help them kind of get out of that depth of seriousness that they're stuck in. And so it's, oh my gosh. So, it is important that within your family system, your spouse or your family, whoever it is that you live with and you see on a constant basis, that you do incorporate humor into your relationship, and sometimes when things are really, really difficult, that's when you got to slap a smile on your face, a big grin, to the point that they have to break ranks and start smiling along with you. Right.
We have a whole day dedicated to this coming up, April Fool's Day. And so kind of think about what kind of things you would do, and don't be mean, don't be hurtful, but do things that are kind of funny. And, thanks you guys for joining us today and talking about this topic. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about because I like to laugh. Maybe I don't like to smile all the time, but I like to laugh a lot.
Yeah. For the people that are watching at Riverbend, thank you for tuning in every week. One thing I said yesterday, one of the things I was feeling was dedicated and dedicated to helping people in this area, helping people in Delta County. And, because we see all of the people here as our neighbors. We have fallen in love with this place and the mountains, and we want to just give back.
Yeah, that is one thing that we do with our neighbors, which our neighbors are really fun, and we gather and we laugh. And we got together last weekend and laughed really hard.
A lot.
And
yes.
we didn't talk about nothing serious. We just
No.
played some music and laughed, and it was really great.
No, I can't really deal with that, like outside
Socially.
of work.
Yeah, no.
When it just gets serious, it's just it's too
Yeah,
much.
keep that in mind. If you are out socializing, don't bring your bag of stuff and dump it on other people.
Yeah.
People don't like it, and we certainly don't like it.
No.
So thanks for joining us today.
I still have one more spoon.
No. Okay, I got it. Open your mouth.
Hey, wait! I can't. Why do
open?
Why do I have to eat my own spoon? You don't have to hide it. I know what's on it.
See how you did.
No, this is not right. That's a good one. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was really fun having you here
on our podcast, Healing Our Community. And tune in next time on Wednesday, 12:15 live. We are hoping to be on location, interviewing someone in our community and having another conversation, another talk about mental health. So until then, stay healthy, Delta County.